Hello everyone, Blaze here, back for some more news and discussion, and this one's pretty exciting. I apologise if I sound a bit breathless in this. I've literally just come back from a 6-mile trek, so I've literally been in the door like all of 10 minutes, so still a bit recovering, but I was so excited to see this, I just had to do it immediately while I was fresh in that excitement. So yes, obviously this is sort of old news. Bubblegum Crisis Ultimate Edition Blu-ray set. Robert J. Woodhead, sorry. Yeah, the guy that basically founded AnimEigo. This was their Kickstarter. I funded a lot. But anyway, yeah, this was their successful Kickstarter they did back in, where does it say? Project was successfully done in 2013. So yeah, November, late October to this, November 2013. They did this, and it turned out to be relatively successful for them. So much so that a whiles back they started talking, or Robert started talking about maybe doing more stuff, and then over the last week or so we got this stuff. So down here we have two projects that are very close to being finalised. I'm literally waiting for final confirmation from Japan, 50-50 as to whether I'll be able to announce them at the convention. He was attending the convention last weekend. Turns out obviously that announcement didn't come, but yeah, basically and this is the stuff that literally just happened within a week ago, but before, somewhere like a couple of months before, if not 6 months or so, or actually I think it was even before Bubblegum Crisis, we actually got Bubblegum Crisis. I remember starting a thread on the fandom post that Robert came out and basically admitted, like, straight up that they're looking at doing more Kickstarters. Like the Bubblegum Crisis one had gone well, and they're looking into the idea of doing more in the future, more projects. He didn't stipulate they'd be Kickstarter related, but everyone kind of took it as a given that they would be. I think AnimEigo are at that point where for them it makes more sense, and if they're doing a certain type of thing that's very niche in terms of what shows they're picking up, overall it's a system that works. Like it's not ideal, like, in some aspects, but it certainly works in many others. So anyway, 5 days ago he also said, I can't give any details, but we have 3 projects that are close to announcement. One where the contract is being finalised, one where the licensor wants to double check some license details, and one, this is really cool, where everyone is trying to find the original film so we can do a HD or 4K scan. Just because he's going to do a 4K scan doesn't mean there's something going to bring out on 4K Blu-ray or something. Like, it will be a 4K mastering that is then downscaled to 1080p on Blu-ray. If you're going to get the HD stuff and do a 4K scan, even you're planning to do something on Blu-ray. So there's certainly a lot of incentive there. So we got this update today, which is basically what this video is about. So, and the survey says this is the latest update for the Bubblegum Crisis Kickstarter. He's basically used the Bubblegum Crisis Kickstarter update system, even though the Kickstarter has long been successful and we all own our sets now, and in my case I'm very pleased with it. He's continued to use this as the best place portal of communication. So hi everyone, this is so cool. I have a favour to ask of you. We are strongly considering licensing several classic anime TV series, not just movies or OVAs or anything, from the 70s, 80s and 90s, and releasing them using the crowdfunding model. One big question is we are trying to figure out is, should we release on DVD or Blu-ray? Now, honestly, this seems like a bit of a dumb question, but it's also a question I think makes sense in asking. But at the same time, like, anyone who's that invested in these older shows, they're going to want it in the best format possible. And the chances are that the majority of us who are invested in classic anime, I'm not going to say this is hand in hand, because it isn't, but a lot of the time when you're invested in the older stuff and you're not just binge watching what's on Crunchyroll and the latest stuff, when you're that invested in going back to the well, as it were, of anime and going back to watch the older shows and enjoying them, you're also a bit more nerdy about the whole thing, basically. And you like to have stuff in the best format possible, the best video quality. It kind of all goes hand in hand, at least in my experience. It doesn't always work in certain shows like Sailor Moon. The masses buy it despite it looking like shit on Blu-ray, but anyway, it doesn't matter. So yeah, it seems like a bit of a dumb question, but anyway, DVD production and replication costs are significantly lower than Blu-ray, obviously. So if we release on DVD, we'd be able to do so at a lower price. So that's kind of the idea behind it. Basically, if they do just a DVD Kickstarter, they have a far better chance, obviously, of making the funding goal and getting the set out and made and done. This may make it more likely that, yeah, basically just said exactly what I just said. The crowdfunding campaign succeeds. On the other hand, Blu-ray image quality is better, and we'd love to be able to release these series in the best possible format. I mean, for me, the obvious thing here is that if the show's already been released on DVD in any, well, for example, shall we say, like, You're Under Arrest is a TV series that AnimEigo released, they did so on DVD. Same for Kumaguri Orange Road, they did so on DVD. And even though I can't imagine this is going to be one of the shows they pick up, although there's always a chance, they also obviously did Macross on DVD, but obviously that's a Harmony Gold fuck up joint mess. So anyway, whatever. So yeah, if they were to then go, hey, we're going to do Kumaguri Orange Road, like, Kickstarter, like, you're going to want it on Blu-ray because there are DVDs out there, no matter how out of print and expensive they are. Ideally, you want to get the people, you know, it might give people a chance to buy the DVD, but you also want to, you know, those who already own the set, like me, for the show, you'd want a Blu-ray release. Anyway, so to help us figure out, to figure out which option makes the most sense, I've created a short Google survey. I greatly appreciate you taking time to help us out. It should only take a few minutes. And then it says, yeah, if you can repost survey on social media, I greatly appreciate it. The more data I get, the best decisions I can make. So yeah, that's basically what I'm doing this video for. I've decided to, like, this isn't a survey that is exclusive to anyone that backed the Bubblegum Crisis Kickstarter. It's a survey that goes out to all of anime fandom and people that buy anime DVD and support home video releases of anime, DVD and Blu-ray, obviously. So yeah, so I decided to do this video and share the survey. The survey will be in the description below, and probably in my mandatory YouTube comment that always seems to appear. So yeah, I'll probably post a link to it there as well. This link here, and it will take you to a survey, which is basically this is exactly this blurb here, so we don't need to go through that again. So here are the questions. Would you buy it on DVD, Blu-ray, or both? I've filled out what I answered, but basically, yeah, support either format. I'd only buy it on Blu-ray, I'd only buy it on DVD. Honestly, for me, I would support either format. For at some point, getting a show in any format is more important. Like, if I was to give a prime example, if I was given the option of Future Boy Conan on DVD or no Future Boy Conan release at all, then I'm going to buy the DVD. It's really as simple as that. So I would hope that everyone would put I'd support either format, because even though Future Boy Conan is out on Blu-ray in Japan and it looks really nice, I watched it fan sub, that's how I saw the show, and I watched it for the first time in HD because those fan subs were done, and that was obviously the best format to watch it in. But I would still buy a complete DVD release of that show if that was the only way I was ever going to be able to put it on my shelf officially in English on a home media product. You know, because the only way I could put it into my collection, then that is how I would quite happily pay the money to do so. So yeah, I would, as much as I would definitely much prefer Blu-ray, I will support either format, because I don't want to, because if you go here and go, well, I definitely want stuff on Blu-ray preferably, so I'd only buy it on Blu-ray, you're telling AnimEigo that if they can't afford the Blu-ray rights, then they shouldn't bother at all, which is never the case as far as I'm concerned. Like I just said, like, if they went to Japan and said, hey, we'd like to buy Future Boy, or license Future Boy Conan, and they went, here's what the Blu-ray rights are, here's what the DVD rights are, and they're like, there's no way we can crowdfund those Blu-ray rights, we might be able to do the DVD, but we've been told by everybody that they won't buy DVDs, so we just won't get the show at all. Like, that doesn't benefit anybody as far as I'm concerned. Like, so yeah, please, I would, as much, like, we all want Blu-rays, but if DVD's the only thing we're ever going to get, we should definitely all just take what we can get. Like, when it comes to modern shows, that's a whole different scenario. When it comes to classic shows, 70s, 80s and 90s, it is definitely DVD is just fine if it means we get the show at all for the first time. And as I was saying before, if it's something that's already been released on DVD, i.e. especially by AnimEigo themselves, i.e. You're Under Arrest, Kimaguri Orange Road, I would obviously much prefer a Blu-ray, but still, not everyone knows the show. So anyway, next we got some price ranges. Mine might sound or look slightly high, but I think the one thing that isn't in the blurb. Yeah, here we go. So yeah, this is the one thing that isn't in this blurb. So basically it says, so imagine that AnimEigo has just announced that we're going to be crowdfunding a classic TV series that you love. Well, that sounds very exciting indeed. We intend to release it one season at a time, and the first season contains 26 25-minute episodes. That's 650 minutes of old school anime goodness. With that series firmly in mind, answer the following questions. So yeah, basically 26 episodes, otherwise translated you could say 2 cores. That is, the average core or average season is 13 episodes in Japan. Obviously that varies between 11 and 14, but it tends to be 13. So yeah, two seasons of anime, or your average length for a modern show even. Or actually, no, I think the average is actually just a single core these days, but anyway, whatever. So yeah, I would say that I would... What do I think is fair and reasonable for the first season as 26 25 minute episodes? I think $80 is pretty fair and reasonable. This is like, ideally, like for me, this is like my ideal price. $80 for a 26 episode series. I feel I might be going a bit too low, but this is my ideal price, and it's a $20 markup on what I think the ideal price for a 2-core DVD set would be, because these aren't going to be dubbed. Like, just put it out there right now, unless one of these Kickstarters absolutely just goes crazy and like the amount of people backing it is insane, then AnimEigo might, do a stretch goal and go, hey, we're actually getting to the point where we can do a dub. That's what happened with Time of Eve, the movie. That the Kickstarter for that, it just got so much support that it just went through the roof, and they decided to dub it, but which also meant it took fucking forever for that to come out. But oh well. Yeah, so $80, $40 per core matches about what you pay for a modern show. And then, given the tendency that a classic show, especially if you look at discotheque releases, tends to be a lot cheaper per episode count, like you're paying a lot less per episode. I feel like in this scenario with Kickstarter related and stuff, and like every penny counts, I feel like paying the same amount for an older show per episode compared to a newer show, I think is reasonable, fair and reasonable, basically. So I think $80 is just fine. I would pay more, but $80 would be ideal and fair, I think. So, and $60 for DVD. Then it says, if released on Blu-ray, what is the most you'd pay? Now this one's really difficult for me. I've already filled out the survey. This is just another survey I loaded up. But yeah, if released on Blu-ray, what is the most you'd pay? I put in 100, which is $50 per core per 13 episodes or whatever. Honestly, I probably would pay more. It's one of those things where it's a show by show basis. Like, there are some shows that I'll look at and go, well, I am interested because it's an older classic show, and I'm always interested in seeing older classic series. But maybe I wouldn't want to pay heaven and earth for something. Like, I can't think of an ideal example right now, but there are certainly some classic shows that I'm not going to go crazy for, but there are some that I definitely would, like Future Boy Conan. Like, if Future Boy Conan was on there, $100, I would pay for a single freaking core of Future Boy Conan. Like, it's just some shows you're willing to pay through the roof. I guess I've said that a few times already, but yeah, I would pay a hell of a lot. Same for a Ladyverse series. If they suddenly came around and say, hey, we're going to put out freaking which ones haven't? Queen Millennia, even though it's currently being fan sub, but yeah, like Queen Millennia, we're going to put it out, maybe not on Blu-ray, it's probably unlikely, but DVD, I'd be like, well, and my DVD is $80 as my max, ideally, and yeah, I'd go, yeah, even at 42 episodes, even like, if I was, that would probably work out as about 3 cores in terms of releases. Like, hell yeah, I'd easily pay $80 per single core of a show like that. So yeah, there are some things that we'd be more willing to pay, but I'm just trying to think in general, because I mean, AnimEigo will definitely factor at least to some degree, it will be in their minds that obviously certain shows people will pay way more. Like if it means that they definitely get the series and they feel like the show needs more money thrown at it, then and you know they'll pay more for it. And it's just, I mean, it's basically what happened with me with Bubblegum Crisis. Like I pledged $170. I didn't need to do that. I think, what was the earliest Blu-ray for the collector's edition anyway? Blu-ray. Is that one it? Yeah, I think this one might be it. No. Or is it? Yeah, is this one it? And there was an early adopter version as well. I don't know, but somewhere around here, 40, 50, I just can't remember. And that's not jumping out at me. None of these say, oh, premium edition. Okay, basic. Oh yeah, I remember how this worked. Basic. Early adopter, premium. So $100 was the premium, or I could have done the early adopter. I was on this thing like within the first 5 seconds. This is my one. I was one single backer for the $150 reward, and then $20 for the shipping. So yeah, like some things you will just pay more for, like simple as. So yeah, I love Bubblegum Crisis. I plan to I haven't fully watched my Blu-ray yet. I watched the first episode since it's like the best episode of the entire series. I watched that, and I plan to actually watch all of the Mega Tokyo stuff in like marathon mode pretty soon. I have all of it on DVD now, so I haven't seen all of it yet, so I plan to go through the whole thing in chronological order, or as much as I can. Yeah. So yeah, just sharing the survey. I've gone on about this for way too long, but it's really exciting times right now. Like Discotek are doing some really good stuff. Discotek planning to do their own version. They're not doing it on Kickstarter. I wonder if they'll be keeping a keen eye though. If AnimEigo start theirs earlier, which looks like they might be doing. Like he said, he was close to announcing it relatively recently. So, or at least one of the projects. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that AnimEigo's next Kickstarter project will start before we'll get a Discotek project. Or at least we'll know what the AnimEigo project is before Discotek's one, because they're still in the early stages of planning of doing that. But yeah, exciting times to be an old school anime fan, exciting times to be an anime fan in general. We're in another boom, it seems. It wasn't something that really clocked on to me, honestly, or, you know, it's not something I'd really realised, but there's no doubt that anime is working very well for companies right now, that the companies involved. Like Discotek's expansion was probably one of the biggest examples of just how crazy popular anime is again, and people are buying it and consuming it, like with Crunchyroll and stuff. It's just, yeah, it's really taken off once again, and it's recovered from the crash, and I think everything's done much more sensibly. AnimEigo, you know, they're doing this a sensible way. They're going out, they're going to try and get these older shows out there for people, and they're doing it in a way where they're, you know, put the money up. You know, if you want this, you pay for it up front, sort of thing, which is fine by me. It's not the first time AnimEigo have actually done this. Obviously Bubblegum Crisis they did, but they also did it for Macross itself, I believe, was funded back in the day in the same style that Discotek are planning to do, so it's certainly not out of the question. But obviously Macross is a much different sort of beast, shall we say, given the Robotech stuff. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking because I've really been going on way too long. This video's way longer than I ever intended, so yeah. Link in the description. Fill out the survey. Like, yeah, fill out the survey. Do everyone a favour. Do us all a favour. Let's get this old school anime out and released, damn it. On Blu-ray even, maybe. Like, yeah. Let's get these shows out that we've been dying to own for all these years. Because when it comes to modern stuff, pretty much get it all these days. So, yeah. I'm pretty sure that's it for stuff. I'm going to be doing another video that's not... well, I'll be doing another video like this relatively soon, and I should really have done my February part 2 pickups by now, and then March and all the rest. So yeah, anyway, I'm in Blaze, thanks for watching, and I'll see you